Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pineleaf, where we have a ride at the Splintered Shield, where I have heard that Gimli is waiting, or working, or doing something, I'm sure. Probably drinking. Or there's always a possibility that he's sleeping. Hello? Hello? Gimli blinks as you waken him from his stupor.
Ah, you have found us. Hard at work.
Yes, it is true. All the folk here in this tavern have been helping us find the finest vows to be spoken by Aragorn at his wedding, Elessar. You know who I mean. Yes. The ale here is quite good. It was Rolfie's idea to reward every perfect sentence with a mug. You had better wake him up, Pineleaf. We had so many good words from which to choose. You turned the writing of vows into a drinking game? Dwarves. Wakey, wakey! Rolfie wakens with a start, blinking to sleep and the drink from his eyes.
I have had an idea. We should
have the proprietor provide this ale for the wedding feast. Yes, as many barrels as he can spare, and that should be no small number. A wedding such as this, yes, only comes along but rarely. Oh, ask him this, Pineleaf. Ask him, and it will be the very finest celebration. Why, if I have anything to do about it, it will be nearly as rowdy as a dwarf wedding. The king of Gondor should be so fortunate. Yes. Really. As rowdy as a dwarf wedding. Hello there. We were wondering if you could provide any ale for the wedding.
I would be pleased to contribute a number of barrels for the wedding feast.
It is the least that I can do for the king and his bride, and I'll do so gladly. Gondor is in need of such happiness as theirs after so much war. The dwarves are right on this account. The drink will loosen the tongues of all those at the feast, and the guests will frequently and at full voice toast to the king's health and to his elf bride. That is our promise for you, Pineleaf. All right, thank you. At least he's not asking me to carry the barrels personally. Rather be heavy for one hobbit, if you ask me. I guess I could roll the barrels?
Well, that is settled. Now to decide on the proper vows for the ceremony.
Oh, will you gather up these papers, Pineleaf? Roughly, and I wrote down some good options, and all of our friends here in the Splinter Shield contributed suggestions of their own, and now it's up to us to select the very best ones. I just hope they sound as good now as they did when you were drunk. Alright, let's see. Here we go. A bit of a mess, but alright. There's some right there. Quite a number of stacks of papers. Maybe I should have brought a basket to carry all of this. Oh, there you go. And one more here. Or how about an entire desk and drawers?
All right, let us see what we've got.
Your beauty is without compare, even amongst the gems of the earth. That was one of mine, Pineleaf. Do you like it? Together we will lay waste to our foes, and none will stand against us. Now that I see this written down, I don't know about that one, Drawfully. Well, it does sound like one just before a war rather than just after one. What else? Let's see. I pledge to love and serve you in all things. Oh, pretty good. Not bad. My love for you gives me the strength to... To what? Oh, this one isn't even finished. Oh, bother. Let's see. True men of Gondor will not forget Castamere. Oh, what's this? Who wrote this? Castamere? I think true men of Gondor, well, they might want to remember the lesson we learned from that incident, but...
I don't know much about this name Castamere, but I do not like it.
But I know it has something to do with a dark period in the history of Gondor. Corsair leaders called themselves the heirs of Castamere, caused us some problems on the journey from Rohan here to Minas Tirith, and I know it is a name that causes Aragorn some displeasure. That's enough for me. I don't need to know the particulars. For someone to involve this name now, today? I don't like it, Pineleaf. Some villain here in the Splinter Shield snuck this paper amongst the others, hoping to disrupt the wedding. Find out who has done this, and we will make them pay for it. Okay, I will ask some people. Hello. I was wondering if you know anything about... She knows nothing. She saw nothing. She heard nothing. What about you? Have you seen, saw, or heard anything? Nada. Alright, well, I guess I have to speak with the proprietor. Hello. We're trying to find out someone who snuck in papers relating to Castamere.
What is the trouble, friend?
I assure you that several of my finest barrels would be brought to the hall on the wedding feast. I'm a man of my word, and I will see it done. All I ask that the lords and ladies attending the feast know that it was Degillion of the Splinter Shield who provided the drink. Men speaking of Castamere in my tavern? That's an outrage! I'll have you know that we of the Splinter Shield are king's men all, and have nothing but respect for his pride to be, elf though that she may be. I say that with all the love of my heart, Pineleaf. If you find any who say otherwise, or even so much as think it, I will have them cast out upon the street, never welcome again within these walls, I swear it. Show me the man who speaks fondly of Castamere, the usurping Kingslayer, and I will report him to the guards of the citadel. Well, I'll take it that means he knows nothing, since I didn't see him throwing anybody out to the guards of the citadel. Well then, let's get back to Gimli.
Nobody saw anything? Ha! I wager my axe could make them talk.
But this is not my kingdom, and I should not wish to overstep my bounds. Not right before a wedding, anyway. Castamere. Bah! I remember the Corsairs that invoked his name at Pelagare, Pineleaf, and none of them would be welcome to a wedding such as this. No, not even if they cleaned themselves up and wore their finest garb. They were cruel-hearted and evil-minded, and from my gathering it sounds like that their idol Castamere was twice as bad. You should go tell Gandalf that there are some, at least, who might wish to disrupt Aragorn's wedding. Maybe our wizard could work some of his magic and sniff out the troublemakers and make them think better of it. I should say it's worth a try, isn't it? If that does not do it, offer my axe in service of this task. That will prove even more effective than magic. Ha 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 ha! Alright, fine. I'll go speak with Mithrandir. Hello there, Mithrandir. I'm back from the shield.
What has brought you back to me so quickly?
Has Gimli exhausted his store of love words, or has he decided to save them for another wedding? It would not surprise me to learn that our dwarf has a poet's heart, as do many of his people. Castamere, you say? Yes, I expected something like this, Pineleaf. The folk of the Gondor have long memories. Castamere's reign was the violent culmination of the Kinstrife, a chain of events that began with a wedding of which the populace did not approve. Romanechil, 20th king of Gondor, sent his son Valakar to make peace with the Vidugavia, the self-proclaimed king of Rovanian. Valakar did so, but he did more as well. He fell in love with Vidumavi, Northman daughter of the king, and the two were married. Many folk in Gondor were displeased with the match, believing that Valakar's marriage will lessen the royal Númenórean blood in any heir that produced by the union. Unrest simmered throughout the kingdom. A child was born to Valakar and Vidumavi, and he was named Eldakar. The unrest continued to simmer until at last he came to the throne. Unrest turned to violent conflict, and Castamere, the captain of the ships, brought war to unseat Eldakar. The usurper ruled Gondor for 10 years until Eldakar returned at the head of a Northman army. Castamere was slain, but his sons and allies fled to Pelagir and Umbar, and the underlying discontent that caused the Kinstrife never truly disappeared. Will the people of Gondor accept the marriage of their king to Arwen Umdulio, the daughter of Elrond of Rivendell? The news you bring from the Splintered Shield tells me that some, at least, may not. We should bring word of the possibility to Elisar, though it pains me to trouble him about it. Perhaps you can do this, Pineleaf, because who better to do it than their trusty hobbit servant? Hello there, sir.
You have returned just in time. I planned to send for you.
But I see that you have come to me with some purpose of your own? Really? That is no concern of mine, Pineleaf. Arwen will be a good queen, and the kingdom will come to accept her. There will be no Kinstrife this time. Alright.
Messengers from Amondine have come to the city, bringing word of a traveling party from the north.
Even now, they draw near to the walls of the Pelennor, and my beloved is with them. Go to the gates of the city, Pineleaf, and tell Huron that I will be down presently. I would ask that you go and greet the party from Rivendell, and let them know that they are long awaited and most welcome in Gondor. Yes, most welcome in Gondor. Well, let's go and speak to, well, it says Hearing the Tall, but I have a feeling that this will eventually lead us to speaking to Elrond and his kin. Ah, here he is. Huron the Tall. Well, compared to me, anyone looks tall.
The party from Rivendell is outside the gate. Might you bring them our greeting?
Very good. These elves are known to you, yes? You trust that they intend no harm to Gondor or to the king? Then they will be welcome here, and I will permit them to speak, none to speak ill of them. Alright, good. So I will go and look for this party of elves. I'm assuming that this is a party that I'm expecting. Yeah, this looks like an expected party. Ah, here they are. Eldon and Elro here. You're not going to cause any trouble, are you?
Hail to you, friend of adventure.
Let my brother and I greet you as gladly as we may, for this is a day both of gladness and of sorrow. Gladness for the joy of our sister, but sadness too, for she has chosen to walk with her love Elisar, and her people will mourn to be parted from her. While we remain in this Middle Earth, Eladin and I will soothe the sting of this hurt with exploration and adventure, with combat and feats of martial skill. That is our way, and I know it is yours as well. Right? And what do you say about that Elro here? No, Eladon. That's Elro here. I never could keep them straight.
The journey was a long one, but we would not miss Arwen's wedding.
Let our younger sister heed the wisdom of her older brothers. We are a little more than 100 years older than she, but that century makes all the difference in wisdom, Pineleaf. Ask anyone, and they will tell you that I speak true. Alright, right, okay, so she's 2,000 years old, and you're 2,100 years old, and that makes you all the wiser. Alright, well, let's see. How about Glorfindel?
It is good to see you again, my friend. Far from lands where it has been our custom to meet.
There are few occasions that might draw so many from the Hidden Vale to the long road, but the marriage of Elrond's daughter Arwen Domiel is one. She is to be wed to Elisar of Gondor, but that is not the only name that he wore during their courtship. Aragorn he was, and Estelle. And while others called him Strider, that name brought some laughter to her lips and amusement to her heart. It is a good time for love's joy, Pineleaf, but there is sadness in it too. A father's sorrow for the daughter with whom he must be parted. That is another reason so many have come south, for even amid such joy, their dear friend must lose something too, and that is a grief. And what does Aristor have to say?
My Govanen,
We have come a long way for this wedding of Arwen of Duliel and to King Elisar of Gondor, but our journey is almost at its end. Yeah, pretty close to the gate. Yeah, I can see it right over there. I have been chief counselor of Elrond's household for many years, and he has long relied upon my wisdom and advice. But what of these have I to offer today? There are times a daughter's happiness must be set against a father's sorrow, and how often does the sundering seas lie between one and the other? Rarely, perhaps. And the choice having been made, the Lord Elrond and his daughter, the answer appears to be always. Alright, and here we have Galadriel and Celeborn. And random elf number 17.
A time of great evil has passed, and now hearts will be lightened with joy.
Arwen has long awaited this day, but its arrival was never certain. Now that it has come, let none stand in the way of love's bounty, lest they risk my granddaughter's ire and my own. I assure you that both may be fearful. Well, I don't know Arwen well enough to know her, what her wrath is like, but I've seen you do a couple of things that tell me you're not one to cross. And what do you have to say about this, Celeborn?
I greet you once again and name you friend.
You and I have walked in dangerous places, but let us set aside the memory of them for now, for this is a time of celebration. That there may be such as these welcome indeed, though the time of my people draws near an end. And Elrond. He's probably not too happy about this. Let's see, we got Elrond. There's Arwen right there. I was wondering where, standing right in front of her. No wonder. All right. Ooh. The Scepter of Numinous, is that?
My Govanen, my friend.
It is no small thing to bring so many across the mountains and to these distant lands, but for the love of my daughter, all here would make this journey tenfold. The defeat of Sauron has made safer the lands hereabouts. The road was not difficult, and though my grieving heart tried to slow my steps, the light of joy in Arwen's face kept steady my pace. For all the knowledge that I possess, Pineleaf, I cannot solve this riddle. Arwen will be parted from her kindred or from her betrothed, and none of my wisdom can ease this parting. Still, I am here, and would be nowhere else on this day, or on any day that my daughter desired. Alright? And finally, Arwen. I assume those are your traveling clothes and not your wedding dress?
It is good to see you.
It's good to see you so far from the pace of our first meeting, and with so much having happened since. I have walked for many years in Middle Earth, but I feel something that I have never felt before. I am like a young sapling, my life just now beginning. I assure you that it is a peculiar sensation for one of the Eldar, Pineleaf.
I understand the preparations are nearly complete.
Yes, the Council of Gondor authorized a great number of plans and preparations for the wedding, and Aragorn believes that we are nearing the completion. And Gimli has had some suggestions relating to the wedding vows. I have already given the matter some thought and chosen words of my own. My love is certain to have done the same, but my heart is warm as the kind thoughts of Gimli, son of glowing. May the words of our vows measure up to those of his devising. But is that my betrothed that I see? Has he come down to the sea to greet his bride? Yes, he has. Apparently the world has grown brighter in that happening. Ah, here he is. There you are, sir. The sight of my beloved has stolen all speech from me, my friend. For so long have I awaited this day, and now it arrives. Can it be so? Now speak to me, Pineleaf, so that I will know that this is truly my lady Undomiel, Arwen Evenstar, and no illusory dream of a hopeful mind. The day has arrived, and soon we'll have the wedding, which we'll have in the next episode of The Complete Pineleaf.